Wake up feeling anxious, overwhelmed, and trapped in racing thoughts? Follow the journey of heart learning to surrender fear, release burdens, and fix its eyes on God. From the first tremors of worry to the whispered divine peace, every moment unfolds with raw emotion, dramatic tension, and life-changing breakthroughs. Witness anxiety transform into calm, doubt into faith, and chaos into clarity. This story is more than a morning prayer. It's a journey of the soul rising through storms, anchored in unwavering trust, radiating hope, and shining as a beacon of divine light. Experience the power of surrender and spiritual victory today. This morning, as the sun barely peeks over the horizon, a restless heart wakes in turmoil. Anxiety grips tightly, refusing to loosen its hold, while thoughts race uncontrollably, spinning in endless circles. The heaviness is immediate, pressing down with a force that feels almost tangible, as if the day itself carries a weight too great to bear. The heart pounds with every fleeting worry, from responsibilities left unfinished to fears about what the future might hold. Each thought multiplies a sense of unease, creating a storm within that shows no signs of easing. Moments of silence only amplify the chaos, as the mind continues its relentless spiraling. Amid this inner turbulence, a longing emerges, a deep, silent plea for peace. Clarity feels distant, almost unreachable, yet the soul craves a calm that can restore focus and lift the oppressive weight. It is a yearning for rest, a desperate desire to find stability before the day begins in earnest. The tension heightens as the struggle feels increasingly isolating. Though surrounded by familiar sights and sounds, the anxious heart feels entirely alone. No comfort, no routine, no familiar presence seems capable of breaking the cycle of worry, leaving the individual trapped in a private storm. This mounting pressure points to a truth that cannot be ignored. The human heart alone cannot find the calm it desperately seeks. The intensity of the struggle reveals a need for something greater, a guiding presence to steady the racing mind and bring peace to a weary soul. In this moment of vulnerability, the stage is set for divine intervention. The heart yearns for a higher power to step in, to quiet the storm within and fix its eyes on a source of hope and serenity. The first step toward calm is recognition of this need, acknowledging that only through faith can the weight be lifted and the morning approach with renewed strength. As the morning unfolds, the restless heart begins to notice a subtle shift. The storm within has not disappeared, but in the quiet moments between racing thoughts, there's a faint whisper, a gentle nudge that something greater is near. The presence is barely perceptible, yet it stirs a glimmer of hope deep within. The mind, still crowded with anxieties, hesitates. Skepticism rises. Could this faint whisper really calm the torrent of fear? Yet even as doubt tugs at the edges, there's an undeniable pull, an invisible hand inviting the heart to listen beyond the chaos. The whisper grows more persistent, like the soft rustling of leaves before a storm subsides. It speaks not in words, but in a quiet assurance that peace is possible. For a moment, the heart dares to imagine a calm untouched by the spiraling thoughts that have dominated the morning. Every muscle remains tense, yet the soul leans closer, seeking the source of this subtle comfort. It is a fragile hope, precarious yet magnetic, drawing attention away from the endless what-ifs and toward a presence that promises stability. The tension between fear and faith intensifies, creating a dramatic inner struggle. As the whisper deepens, the anxious heart experiences an awakening to its own vulnerability. It acknowledges the impossibility of navigating the day alone. The recognition is sharp and almost painful. The weight of anxiety cannot be carried without help. There's a growing sense that surrender is necessary, yet terrifying. The surrounding world remains oblivious to this intimate battle. The sun rises higher, birds chirp, and morning routines continue as usual. But within, the struggle is monumental. The isolation feels heightened, emphasizing the need for divine intervention. The heart realizes that only something beyond human understanding can still the storm. A moment of clarity begins to pierce through the clouded thoughts. The whisper is now unmistakable, a call to open the heart, to release fear, and place trust in the unseen. It is as if a door has been unlocked, offering a path toward the peace that has been so desperately sought. Even as the heart edges toward surrender, resistance persists. Old patterns of worry rise like tidal waves, threatening to sweep away the fragile hope. But the whisper refuses to be silenced, countering each fearful thought with a quiet reassurance. Calm is near, and guidance is ready to lead. The emotional tension reaches a peak, a delicate balance between despair and expectation. The heart teeters on the edge, caught between the storm that has raged since dawn and the promise of serenity that the whisper brings. The struggle is dramatic, intimate, and undeniably real. Finally, the heart leans fully into the whisper, acknowledging the need for divine presence. The first act of trust is given, a simple, silent recognition that the storm cannot be weathered alone. This moment, small yet monumental, sets the stage for a deeper connection, opening the door to the calm, clarity, and focused faith that is about to transform the morning. The heart, still trembling from the whisper of hope, begins to sense the first stirrings of surrender. Anxiety still pulses, but quiet resolve emerges, a willingness to release the heavy weight that is pressed so relentlessly. The morning now feels like the threshold of transformation, where fear meets faith. With every heartbeat, the inner dialogue intensifies. Thoughts of past failures, looming responsibilities, and countless uncertainties fight to reclaim control. Yet, in the quiet corners of the mind, the whisper persists, urging the heart to lay each burden down, one by one. The struggle is raw, deeply human, and vividly dramatic. The act of letting go feels both terrifying and liberating. Imagine carrying a sack of stones for years, each representing an unresolved fear or worry, and now slowly placing them on the ground. Relief begins to seep in, but fear of the unknown tugs at the edges. The tension between clinging and surrender becomes almost palpable. Amid this battle, the heart starts naming the burdens aloud, acknowledging their weight for the first time. Responsibilities, regrets, insecurities, each one identified, recognized, and offered up. The whisper transforms into a soft but firm insistence. Release them, and peace will follow. The sensation of vulnerability is overwhelming. Anxiety resists, insisting that control is necessary for survival. But faith counters with quiet conviction, a promise that divine guidance will carry the heart to what it cannot bear alone. The drama of internal conflict peaks here, between fear's grip and trust's call. Slowly, as each worry is surrendered, the heart experiences a subtle lightening. The oppressive storm begins to lift, replaced by a fragile clarity that had seemed impossible just hours before. Every relinquished burden strengthens the emerging sense of peace, like the first rays of sun cutting through dense fog. The process is neither instant nor easy. Moments of doubt rush in, threatening to undo the progress. But the whisper, now a persistent companion, reminds the heart that surrender is not weakness. It is the first step toward true strength. The drama of the internal battle makes the eventual relief all the more powerful. A turning point arrives when the heart notices a change in perspective. Instead of being consumed by what could go wrong, a space opens to gratitude, hope, and renewed focus. The burdens once clutched so tightly feel distant, almost foreign. This contrast underscores a profound transformation taking place. The external world remains largely unchanged. The morning sun continues its ascent. Life moves at its usual pace. But within, a revolution has begun. Anxiety has not vanished completely, but the heart now knows where to place trust, how to step forward without being paralyzed by fear, and a profound relief of letting go begins to settle in. Finally, a moment of stillness arises. The heart, lighter and more centered, feels a quiet but undeniable connection to a presence greater than itself. The stage is set for the next chapter of spiritual clarity, eyes fixed upward, burdens released, and a soul ready to embrace the calm that can only come from divine intervention. The heart, lighter yet still tender from the act of surrender, begins to shift focus. Anxiety has lost its overwhelming grip, and a new desire emerges, to lift the gaze beyond the swirling thoughts and fix it on something unshakable. The morning feels alive with possibility, yet fragile, like a candle flickering in a gentle breeze. Thoughts still arise, subtle reminders of fear and uncertainty, but they no longer dominate. Each anxious impulse is met with intention. The eyes consciously seek a higher source of guidance and calm. The tension between old habits of worry and the emerging focus on faith creates a dramatic inner battle, palpable and deeply human. A silent prayer forms within, almost instinctively. It is brief, desperate yet hopeful, a plea to steady the heart and guide the mind. The whisper of divine presence from the previous chapter now takes on clarity, encouraging the heart to fix its gaze fully, to trust and release simultaneously. Imagery floods a mind, a vast horizon, light breaking through darkness, and a calm that stretches beyond the limits of human understanding. The heart clings to this vision, using it as an anchor against the lingering waves of fear. Every flicker of worry is met with a renewed effort to focus on this stabilizing light. Moments of doubt still intrude. The mind questions whether peace is sustainable, whether the burdens might return. But the heart pushes back, remembering the relief already experienced from surrendering the heaviest weights. The drama of uncertainty heightens the emotional tension, making the emerging clarity even more precious. Breath by breath, the anxious heart becomes more centered. The internal storm has not vanished completely, but the act of fixing the eyes on something greater than self begins to reshape perspective. Fear loses its power to dictate the rhythm of the day, replaced by a quiet determination to remain present and attentive to divine guidance. The outer world, still vibrant with the activity of morning, mirrors the internal transformation. Light now illuminates familiar objects, each detail seeming more vivid and serene. The heart senses that clarity is not merely an internal illusion, but a tangible shift, a reflection of divine alignment. A subtle joy begins to emerge, intertwined with relief. The heart discovers that focus is more than a mental exercise. It is a spiritual posture. Every glance away from fear toward the source of guidance strengthens resilience and deepens the emerging calm. The dramatic struggle between old patterns and new intention begins to resolve into a stable rhythm. This stage of the journey emphasizes the importance of consistency. The heart understands that maintaining focus requires vigilance, patience, and faith. The battle is not over, but the tools for victory, trust, surrender, and intentional gaze are firmly in hand. The stakes of each moment remain high, intensifying the emotional impact of small victories. Finally, the heart settles into a fragile yet undeniable peace. Eyes fixed upward, attention centered, and burdens acknowledged but no longer controlling, the soul experiences the first real taste of calm. This moment sets the stage for the next chapter, where lingering thoughts and subtle anxieties will challenge the heart, and faith must actively engage to maintain the serenity achieved. Even as the heart lifts its gaze, the mind refuses to remain quiet. Thoughts swirl like relentless winds, each one carrying a shadow of doubt or fear. The calm achieved in the previous moments is tested as anxiety tries to reclaim its territory, reminding the heart of its fragility. Images of past mistakes flash unbidden. What if the burdens return? What if peace is only temporary? The internal dialogue becomes a battlefield. Every rational thought met with counterarguments of fear. The heart feels the tension tighten, the storm threatening to rise once again. Memories of failures and missed opportunities serve as ammunition in this invisible conflict. The anxious heart is pulled towards self-doubt, wondering if it is truly capable of holding on to the fragile peace it has begun to taste. The drama of the struggle intensifies, palpable and deeply personal. Yet, amid the mental onslaught, the whisper of divine presence remains. It is quieter now, easily drowned out but persistent. It urges the heart to anchor in faith, to recognize that the storm of thoughts, though fierce, does not define the soul's true strength. The battle escalates with waves of what-ifs and intrusive worries. Each attempt to focus on God is met with new distraction, a test of endurance. The tension between spiritual desire and mental resistance reaches its peak, creating a dramatic crescendo within the soul. Breath by breath, the heart learns to confront these thoughts without surrendering to them. Each anxious impulse is acknowledged, yet deliberately released into trust. The battle is not about eliminating fear entirely, but about refusing to let it control the day or the heart's posture toward peace. The struggle is exhausting, and the heart wavers. Doubt threatens to undo the progress of the morning. And for a moment, despair seems inevitable. Yet even in this precarious state, the awareness of God's presence provides a lifeline, a promise that the heart is not fighting alone. Visualization and prayer become weapons in this unseen war. The heart imagines placing every intrusive thought into a container of divine care, offering each one up instead of letting it fester. Slowly, the mind begins to still, each surrender strengthening the heart's resilience. By confronting the mental storm head-on, the heart discovers a deeper sense of freedom. The anxiety is not gone, but it no longer dictates the rhythm of the soul. Faith becomes the anchor amid chaos, a stabilizing force capable of holding the heart steady through relentless waves of thought. Finally, the internal battle reaches a turning point. Victory is quiet, subtle, yet profound. The heart, though aware of lingering fears, remains fixed on God's guidance. The storm has not vanished completely, but the soul has learned to rise above it, prepared for the next chapter, the whisper of peace that will transform anxiety into calm, focus, and spiritual clarity. After the storm of racing thoughts, a subtle calm begins to emerge, almost imperceptible at first. The heart, still wary from the previous battles, senses a quiet invitation to rest. It is as if a gentle wind has begun to push back the chaos, offering the first hints of serenity. The whisper of peace is soft, barely audible over lingering doubts, yet unmistakable. It does not demand attention. It beckons with gentleness, coaxing the soul to trust, to release the tension that has built over hours of inner struggle. The dramatic shift is delicate, yet profound. Anxiety still lingers at the edges, like dark clouds resisting the light, but the heart notices a subtle change. Breathing slows, muscles relax, and a sense of weightlessness begins to replace the heaviness that once pressed so relentlessly. Every exhale becomes a tiny victory against fear. The external world mirrors this internal transformation in small, almost unnoticed ways. Sunlight filters more warmly through windows, birds sing with clarity, and the rhythm of life continues. Yet now the heart experiences it with newfound openness. Even ordinary moments feel imbued with hope. Memories of previous failures and fears arise, but they no longer hold the same power. Each thought is met with gentle acknowledgement and then released. The heart has learned to distinguish between lingering worry and reality, between fleeting fear and enduring faith, and this to some is liberating. In this space of emerging peace, the soul feels a deep connection to something greater. The whisper grows into a presence, subtle but undeniable, assuring the heart that calm is not temporary. It is a gift available in every moment of surrender. The drama of past chaos makes the stillness even more precious. The heart begins to experience joy intertwined with relief. The tension that once dominated the morning is eased into a quiet confidence. It is not a loud, triumphant victory, but a profound and steady assurance that the soul is anchored, no longer tossed by the unpredictable waves of fear. Focus deepens as the mind aligns with this emerging calm. Thoughts that once spiraled uncontrollably are now guided by intention, directed toward gratitude, hope, and trust. The inner narrative shifts, emphasizing presence and connection rather than absence and loss. The breakthrough of peace inspires action. The heart reaches outward, ready to face the day with patience, clarity, and renewed purpose. The previous hours of struggle now feel like preparation, training the soul to recognize and embrace divine calm amidst future storms. Finally, a transformative stillness settles fully within. The whisper of peace has matured into a quiet but powerful presence. Anxiety has not vanished completely, but it no longer controls the rhythm of the morning. The heart is prepared for the next chapter, anchored firmly in faith and ready to embrace steadfast focus. The journey toward being fully anchored in God's guidance. The heart, now touched by the subtle whisper of peace, begins to settle into a deeper, steadier calm. The storms of thought and anxiety have not vanished entirely, but a new sense of resilience has taken root. The soul feels anchored, as it has found solid ground after drifting in turbulent waters. Even as doubts occasionally rise like small waves, they no longer control the rhythm of the heart. Each intrusive thought is met with the quiet strength of faith, a reminder that divine guidance can hold what the human mind cannot. The drama of past struggles enhances the value of this newfound steadiness. Clarity emerges with every conscious choice to trust. The heart begins to see the day ahead not as a series of threats and uncertainties, but as a canvas for peace, patience, and purposeful action. The dramatic tension of anxiety has shifted into the quiet determination of faith in motion. The mind, previously a battlefield of competing fears, now operates with direction and focus. The heart recognizes that anchoring in faith is not a single act, but continuous posture, a daily commitment to maintain eyes fixed on God, even when distractions threaten to intrude. Gratitude rises naturally within this anchored state. The small victories of surrendering burdens, fixing the eyes upward, and calming the storm of thoughts are celebrated internally. Each moment of trust strengthens the foundation of faith, reinforcing the heart's resilience. The external world, once a mirror of inner chaos, now appears through a lens of clarity and hope. Ordinary sights, the morning sunlight, the sound of birds, the rhythm of life, become symbols of the divine presence that supports and steadies the soul. The contrast of previous turmoil heightens the drama and impact of this inner transformation. Even lingering fears are no longer frightening. They are acknowledged without panic, accepted without surrender to despair. The heart understands that being anchored does not mean the absence of challenge, but the presence of divine strength that guides through it. This stage of spiritual growth emphasizes consistency. The heart knows that faith requires vigilance and intentionality. Each choice to trust, each act of surrender, is a reinforcement of the anchor that holds the soul steady amidst the unpredictable currents of life. A deep sense of serenity begins to envelop the heart. Calm is no longer fragile. It is firm, resilient, and anchored in something eternal. The soul experiences a profound security of knowing it is supported by a presence far greater than any fleeting worry or fear. Finally, the heart is fully prepared for the culmination of this morning journey. Anchored in faith, eyes fixed on God and burden surrendered, the soul stands ready to enter the next chapter, the ultimate morning victory, where anxiety is transformed into peace, purpose, and unstoppable hope. The heart, having weathered the storm of thoughts, surrender, and persistent doubt, now stands in quiet triumph. A sense of peace pervades every fiber of being, subtle yet unmistakable, signaling the victory of faith over fear. The morning, once heavy with anxiety, now shines with clarity and promise. Every breath is a reminder of resilience. The racing pulse of worry has slowed, replaced by a rhythmic calm that mirrors the steady presence of divine support. Each inhalation brings focus. Each exhalation releases lingering tension. The victory is not loud, but it resonates profoundly within the soul. The mind, once a battlefield of spiraling fears, is now aligned with purpose. Thoughts no longer control the heart. They are guided gently by trust and focus. The drama of previous battles enhances the sweetness of this peace, making the triumph all the more poignant and tangible. A deep sense of gratitude floods the heart. The burdens once carried so heavily now rest safely in divine hands. The soul recognizes that the strength to overcome anxiety came not from personal effort alone, but from embracing guidance greater than itself. This acknowledgement deepens the victory. The external world mirrors the inner transformation. Sunlight seems warmer, colors brighter, and the rhythm of life carries a harmony that was previously unnoticed. Every detail becomes a symbol of hope and renewal, reinforcing the heart's experience of triumph and calm. Lingering fears may occasionally surface, but they are no longer threats. Each is met with the quiet assurance that the heart is anchored and protected. The soul understands that victory is not the absence of struggle, but the presence of divine strength to rise above it, moment by moment. Joy, subtle yet profound, begins to permeate the heart. It is not a fleeting emotion, but a deep-seated certainty that peace can endure. The morning's previous tension and chaos serve only to highlight the significance of this serenity, making it more luminous and satisfying. The heart now approaches the day with intention and clarity. Decisions are made from a place of calm, actions guided by purpose, and interactions colored by patience and understanding. The dramatic contrast of the morning's earlier anxiety emphasizes the depth of transformation achieved. Spiritual focus reaches its pinnacle. Eyes remain fixed on the divine, awareness sharp, and the soul steady. The lessons of surrender, perseverance, and faith have solidified into an enduring strength, equipping the heart to face future storms without losing this morning's hard-won peace. Finally, the morning victory is complete. Anxiety has been met, confronted, and transformed into peace, clarity, and purpose. The soul emerges triumphant, anchored in faith, and empowered to move through life with renewed courage and hope. The journey from inner turmoil to divine calm stands as a testament to the power of trust, surrender, and unwavering focus on what is eternal. The heart, having journeyed through the relentless storm of thoughts and fears, now feels a profound shift. The once raging anxiety is softened, replaced by a stillness that seems to hum with quiet power. Each breath carries a sense of triumph, the victory of faith over inner chaos palpable in every fiber of being. The morning light, previously unnoticed in the blur of worry, now streams through with clarity and warmth. It illuminates not just a room, but the soul itself, revealing the transformation that has quietly taken place. The external world reflects the internal calm, enhancing the dramatic contrast with the turmoil of hours past. Thoughts that once spiraled uncontrollably are now organized by intentional focus. Each fleeting worry is met with a silent acknowledgement and then gently released. The heart has learned the rhythm of surrender, understanding that victory is found not in the absence of fear, but in the ability to rise above it. Memories of past failures linger briefly, like shadows at the edge of awareness. Yet these shadows no longer dominate. Instead, they serve as reminders of the journey traveled, the battles fought, and the strength gained. The heart recognizes that every moment of struggle was preparation for this morning's victory. A sense of gratitude swells, quietly overwhelming the heart with warmth. The burdens once carried alone are now in divine hands, and the soul feels lighter than it has in years. This gratitude fuels confidence, reinforcing the stability that anchors the heart amid life's unpredictable currents. The whisper of peace from earlier chapters has grown into a steady presence, steadying the soul with a constant reminder. The heart is never alone in its struggles. Faith, focus, and surrender now work in harmony, creating an inner sanctuary where anxiety can no longer dictate the day's course. Joy emerges, not loud or fleeting, but deep and enduring. The morning, once filled with tension and unrest, now feels alive with promise. Every heartbeat is a celebration of resilience, every thought a testament to the power of trust and divine intervention. The heart, fully anchored, prepares to step into the day with renewed purpose. Decisions are no longer clouded by fear. Actions flow from a place of clarity and confidence. The dramatic contrast between earlier turmoil and present serenity magnifies the significance of this inner victory, making it feel both miraculous and hard-won. Even small distractions or minor anxieties are met with calm resolve. The soul now understands the lessons of the morning. Surrender first. Fix your gaze on the divine and confront intrusive thoughts with faith. Each technique reinforces a victory, ensuring that peace remains not just a fleeting moment, but a lasting posture of the heart. Finally, the morning victory stands complete. Anxiety has been transformed into clarity, fear into faith, and chaos into peace. The soul, fully awake and anchored in divine guidance, steps forward into the day confident, focused, and empowered. This triumph over inner turmoil is not just a personal victory. It is a testament to the transformative power of trust, prayer, and unwavering faith. The morning victory has passed, yet the heart continues to echo with the lessons learned. The calm that settled in the previous hours is now tested not by internal turmoil, but by the demands of the day. Life presses forward, yet the soul feels armed with a newfound resilience. Anxiety tries to creep back subtly through fleeting thoughts, sudden fears, and reminders of past struggles. But the heart, trained in the rhythm of surrender and anchored in faith, recognizes these as tests rather than threats. Each moment becomes an opportunity to reaffirm trust. The memory of the storm within lingers vividly, sharpening the appreciation for the peace now held. The dramatic contrast between chaos and calm emphasizes a profound transformation. A soul that once quivered at the weight of worry now stands poised and unshaken. Every decision of the day carries the imprint of this internal victory. Actions are deliberate, measured, and guided by a clear mind. The dramatic tension of prior chapters, the relentless anxiety, the spiral thoughts, is transformed into purpose, allowing focus to thrive where fear once ruled. The whisper of divine guidance remains a constant companion. It speaks in subtle nudges and quiet confirmations, reminding the heart that even amidst external chaos, the internal sanctuary of peace is attainable and sustainable. This presence reinforces confidence and courage at every step. Gratitude deepens with each passing hour. The soul celebrates not only the morning's victory, but the journey itself. The battles fought, the burdens released, and the faith that was forged in fire. This emotional resonance strengthens resolve, making the victory feel eternal rather than fleeting. The heart begins to notice others around it, witnessing the subtle transformation in its demeanor. Calmness radiates. Decisions are unhurried, and interactions reflect patience and compassion. The dramatic evolution of the inner world now influences the outer, leaving a tangible impact on those encountered. Even lingering fears are reframed. They are no longer obstacles, but reminders of what has been overcome and what faith can accomplish. Each challenge is met with quiet confidence, proof that the internal victory is not confined to the morning, but extends into life itself. The soul now stands as a living testament to the power of surrender, focus, and trust in the divine. The journey from turmoil to serenity is complete, yet ongoing vigilance ensures that peace remains anchored, no matter what storms may rise. Finally, the chapter closes with a sense of completion and hope. Anxiety has been transformed into clarity, despair into courage, and turmoil into unwavering faith. The triumph of the spirit is celebrated, not as an endpoint, but as a perpetual posture of the heart, anchored, resilient, and eternally guided by divine light. The morning has passed, but the heart remains awake, alert, and steadfast. The victories of previous hours have settled into the soul, transforming fleeting relief into enduring calm. Anxiety, once a constant shadow, now appears distant, powerless against the resilience that has been forged. Even as new challenges approach, the heart meets them with intentional focus. Thoughts that might have previously spiraled into fear are now gently guided by faith. Each mental tug-of-war becomes an opportunity to exercise trust, reinforcing the anchored divine presence within. The inner transformation extends beyond mere feelings. It shapes every action. Decisions are made with clarity, conversations flow with patience, and each step of the day reflects the deep serenity cultivated over the morning's journey. The external world, once overwhelming, now mirrors the inner calm. Memories of earlier struggles surface, but they no longer hold sway. Each recollection of fear, doubt, or worry becomes a testament to growth rather than a trigger for anxiety. The dramatic tension of past chapters now serves as a vivid backdrop, highlighting the depth of the heart's evolution. The whisper of divine guidance grows stronger, not in volume but in constancy. Its presence steadies the soul through small distractions and unexpected trials, offering reassurance that calm is not a fleeting state, but an eternal posture of faith. The heart leans fully into this unseen support. Gratitude deepens exponentially. The soul celebrates not only the absence of anxiety, but the presence of divine clarity. Each heartbeat is infused with appreciation, each breath a recognition of guidance that has carried the heart through storm after storm. The emotional resonance strengthens the transformation. Even moments of fear are reframed as opportunities for reliance on faith. Where once the heart would have faltered, now it stands firm, a living witness to the power of surrender and trust. The tension of past struggles contrasts dramatically with the serenity of the present, emphasizing the victory as both hard-won and permanent. The calm now extends into every corner of life. Work, relationships, and daily routines are approached with measured presence. The dramatic chaos that marked the morning is replaced by intentionality and confidence, demonstrating the practical impact of internal peace on external reality. The heart reflects on the journey. The storm of thoughts, the surrender of burdens, the whisper of peace, and the anchor of faith. Each step contributed to the transformation, culminating in a soul that is resilient, focused, and steadfast. The morning victory has evolved into eternal calm, a state that endures beyond any single day. Finally, the chapter concludes with the soul fully aligned with divine guidance. Anxiety no longer dictates rhythm. Fear no longer dominates thought, and the heart moves through life with unwavering trust, clarity, and peace. The dramatic arc from chaos to calm is complete, leaving the spirit empowered, anchored, and eternally serene. The heart, having tasted calm and victory, now faces the inevitable return of life's pressures. Challenges emerge as reminders that peace is not static, yet the soul approaches them with a confidence rooted in previous victories. The tension of uncertainty remains, but it no longer dominates the spirit. Thoughts attempt to spiral into fear once more, but the heart recognizes their tactics. Each anxious impulse is met with intentional resistance, guided by lessons learned in surrender and focus. The struggle is dramatic, yet empowering. The storm is no longer feared, but understood as a stage for growth. The whispered divine presence grows persistent, not as a fleeting comfort, but as an unwavering anchor. It assures the heart that even when the winds of worry return, they are powerless to destabilize the soul's foundation. Faith has become the shield that transforms anxiety into opportunity. The internal battle is vivid and intense. Memories of past failures surface like shadows, seeking to reassert control. But each recollection is met with a deliberate act of trust, a conscious turning toward divine guidance rather than fear. The contrast between past weakness and current strength heightens the drama. Moments of doubt still attempt to infiltrate the calm. The heart falters briefly, sensing vulnerability. Yet in these moments, the whisper speaks louder, reminding the soul of victories already won and the resilience that now resides within. Each hesitation becomes an invitation to deepen faith. Gratitude continues to anchor the soul. Even amid tests, the heart finds reasons to celebrate strength, clarity, and perseverance. The dramatic weight of earlier anxiety is transformed into appreciation for the endurance that has been cultivated over each chapter of a journey. The external world presents challenges, yet each one is met with equanimity. The heart moves with intentionality, engaging fully in life without being controlled by worry. The difference between reactive anxiety and proactive faith creates a powerful narrative of transformation in motion. The soul begins to radiate quiet strength. Others around may sense it subtly, a calm demeanor, steady focus, and resilient spirit. The inner victories of mourning in previous chapters now manifest externally, demonstrating that the triumph over anxiety impacts not only the self but the world. Even small fears are reframed as instruments of growth. What was once a source of paralysis now becomes an opportunity to practice faith, patience, and clarity. The storm is no longer an adversary but a teacher, dramatizing the journey from chaos to mastery of the soul. Finally, the heart rises fully through the storm, anchored in divine guidance, strengthened by the trials of anxiety and surrender and focus on eternal calm. The soul steps confidently into life. The journey, once fraught with turmoil, now becomes a narrative of unstoppable resilience, unwavering faith, and triumphant serenity. The heart, tempered by every storm and trial, now feels profound harmony settling deep within. The chaos that once dominated every thought has been replaced by a stillness that radiates confidence. The soul stands firmly anchored, unshaken by the pressures of life or the echoes of past anxiety. Even as new challenges approach, they no longer spark panic or spiraling thoughts. Each circumstance is met with measured focus and quiet strength. The dramatic tension of former battles remains a memory, a contrast that highlights the depth of the soul's transformation. The whispered divine presence has become a steady voice, guiding decisions and steadying every action. No longer faint or hesitant, it serves as a constant reminder that the heart is aligned with something far greater than its fears, capable of navigating every uncertainty with grace. Internal clarity reaches a peak. Thoughts flow in order, aligned with purpose and anchored in faith. Anxiety may flicker at the edges, but it no longer controls the heart or mind. Each moment of hesitation is met with immediate trust, reinforcing the unshakable alignment that now defines the soul. The dramatic struggle of earlier mornings, the racing heart, spiraling thoughts, and weight of burdens is vividly contrasted with the present serenity. The journey itself becomes testimony. From chaos to surrender, from distraction to focus, from fear to steadfast peace. Every breath is now an act of deliberate presence. The heart fully inhabits the moment, aware of its connection to divine guidance. Anxiety has been transformed into alert calm. Fear has been exchanged for unwavering confidence. The soul experiences what it means to be truly anchored. Gratitude deepens into a permanent posture. Every challenge, every test, every moment of surrender is celebrated internally, forming the foundation of resilience. The dramatic arc of previous chapters culminates in a profound recognition that peace is not merely circumstantial. It is a state of alignment with the eternal. Even the external world, once a mirror of inner turmoil, now mirrors the soul's equilibrium. Daily life proceeds with clarity, interactions flow with patience, and the heart radiates an energy of focus and serenity that impacts everything it touches. The transformation is not internal only, it is tangible to the world. The heart now approaches future challenges with anticipation rather than fear. Every potential disruption becomes an opportunity to exercise faith, reinforcing the dramatic contrast between past vulnerability and present strength. The alignment is so complete that peace feels unshakable, regardless of circumstance. Finally, the chapter closes with the soul fully in harmony with divine guidance. Anxiety is no longer a force to reckon with. Every thought, action, and intention flows from a centered, anchored place. The dramatic journey from chaos to calm, from fear to faith, has reached its ultimate expression: unshakable alignment, eternal peace, and unstoppable focus.